She texted, "I sold your investment stocks to pay off my credit card debt. You'll make it back anyway." Those were the stocks I'd been building for 10 years, my future house fund. I replied, "Good to know." Then I contacted my broker, froze every account in her name, and reported the transfer as fraud. When the investigators called her office the next morning, "My name is Marcus. I'm 29, work in IT project management, and until 3 days ago, I thought I had my life figured out. I'd been with my girlfriend Vanessa for 4 years. We moved in together 2 years ago into a decent 2-bedroom apartment in downtown Portland. Split rent, split bills, split groceries, the whole modern relationship thing. She worked in marketing for a tech startup, made around $65,000 a year, and we talked constantly about buying a house together someday. That someday felt close because I'd been building an investment portfolio since I was 19 years old. I started with $200 a month during college when most of my friends were blowing their part-time job money on weekends and concerts. I read books on investing, watched YouTube tutorials, learned about index funds and dividend reinvestment. As my salary grew from $45,000 fresh out of college to $98,000 now, I increased my monthly contributions. By last Tuesday morning, that account had roughly $127,000 in it. It wasn't Wall Street money, but it was mine. Every single contribution documented in spreadsheets I kept meticulously. Every dividend reinvested automatically. 10 years of discipline and sacrifice while my friends bought new cars and took expensive vacations. Vanessa knew about the account. I'd shown her the statements about 1.5 years ago when we started talking seriously about our future. We were lying in bed on a Sunday morning drinking coffee, and she asked me how much I thought we'd need for a down payment. I pulled up my Vanguard app and showed her. Her eyes went wide. She kissed me and said it made her feel secure knowing I was financially responsible and thinking about our future. I never added her name to the account because it predated our relationship by 6 years, but she had access to my laptop, knew my passwords because I'd logged in while she was next to me dozens of times, and knew where I kept all my financial documents in our shared home office. We trusted each other. Or at least, I trusted her. Last Tuesday started normally. I woke up at 6:30 a.m., made breakfast, kissed Vanessa goodbye as she left for her 8 a.m. meeting. I got to my office by 8:45 a.m. and dove into back-to-back project reviews. Sprint planning, budget allocations, stakeholder updates. My phone was on silent in my drawer. I finally checked it around 4:30 p.m. during a bathroom break and saw a text from Vanessa sent at 2:17 p.m. The message was casual, almost breezy in its tone. "Hey babe, I sold some of your stocks to clear my credit card debt. Don't worry, you'll make it back anyway, LOL. Love you." I read it once, then again, then a third time. My heart started pounding in my ears. My hands went cold despite the warm office air. I walked back to my desk, grabbed my jacket, told my manager I had a family emergency, and practically ran to the parking garage. In my car, hands shaking, I called my Vanguard broker's customer service line. The representative, a woman named Jennifer, pulled up my account. Her voice shifted from friendly to concerned as she reviewed the activity. "Mr. Chen, I see a withdrawal of $43,500 was processed this morning at 9:23 a.m. The funds were transferred to an external checking account. The transaction was verified through your login credentials and security question answers." "I didn't authorize that withdrawal," I said, trying to keep my voice steady. "Sir, the login came from your registered IP address and the security answers were correct. My girlfriend accessed my account without my permission. She lives with me. She knows my passwords." Silence on the other end. Then Jennifer said, "I'm going to transfer you to our fraud department. Please hold." I sat in that parking garage for 40 minutes talking to 3 different people. They confirmed that because the login credentials and security measures were correctly entered, the transaction appeared legitimate from their perspective. They'd sent a confirmation email at 9:47 a.m., which I'd missed because I was in meetings. However, they could flag it as disputed and begin an investigation. But I needed to file a police report immediately for it to be taken seriously. I drove straight to the police station. The officer at the desk, a middle-aged guy with tired eyes, handed me forms. I filled them out methodically. Under Description of Incident, I wrote exactly what happened. Under Evidence, I included screenshots of Vanessa's text message that I'd emailed to myself. When the officer reviewed my report, he actually stopped and read the text message twice. He looked up at me and said, "She wrote LOL." "Yeah." He shook his head. "You need to document everything. Save all communications. A detective will contact you within 48 hours. Given the amount, this could be felony theft." I drove home in a daze. It was 7:15 p.m. Vanessa's car wasn't in the parking lot yet. She usually got home around 7:45 p.m. after her yoga class on Tuesdays. I moved quickly. I packed a large duffel bag with clothes for a week, my laptop, chargers, toiletries, important documents from my file cabinet, including my passport and birth certificate. I grabbed my external hard drive with 10 years of personal files and photos. I looked around our apartment one last time. At the couch we'd picked out together at IKEA, at the framed photos on the wall from our trip to Vancouver last summer, at the kitchen where we'd cooked dinner together hundreds of times. Then I left. I checked into a Holiday Inn 15 minutes away, paid for a week up front with my credit card, and sat on the edge of the stiff hotel bed. My phone buzzed. Vanessa had texted, "Picking up Thai food." "Want your usual?" I replied with just 2 words. "Good to know." 3 minutes later, my phone started ringing. Vanessa. I declined the call. She called again. Declined. Again. Declined. Between 6 p.m. and 8 p.m., she called me 11 times. She left voicemails. I listened to them later that night while lying in the dark hotel room. The first one, 6:52 p.m. "Marcus, where are you? Your car's not here, why aren't you answering? I brought home pad thai. Call me back." The second one, 7:18 p.m. "Okay, you're clearly upset about the money thing. Can we please talk about this like adults? It's not that big of a deal. You have literally over $100,000. I just needed to clear my cards. You'll make it back. You're being really immature right now." The third one, 7:41 p.m. "Are you seriously going to ignore me? I'm your girlfriend, Marcus. We've been together 4 years. Where the hell are you? This is ridiculous. I made a decision about our finances. We're partners. We share everything. Stop acting like a child and come home." I didn't respond to any of them. Instead, I opened my laptop and started documenting everything. I created a folder with screenshots of every text message, every voicemail transcription, every bank statement showing my account history. I wrote a detailed timeline of events. If this was going to get legal, I wanted to be prepared. Update one Wednesday morning, I woke up at 6 a.m. to my phone ringing. My broker, Jennifer, from yesterday. She informed me that my account had been frozen pending the fraud investigation. More importantly, they'd contacted the receiving bank, where Vanessa's checking account was, and flagged the $43,500 deposit as proceeds from a potentially fraudulent transaction. That meant Vanessa's account was now frozen too. She couldn't move that money, couldn't transfer it, couldn't withdraw it, couldn't touch it. It was locked in limbo. I thanked Jennifer and told her I'd filed the police report. She said that was exactly what I needed to do and that I should hear from law enforcement soon. I took a shower, put on my work clothes, and tried to focus on my job. Around 10 a.m., my desk phone rang. Detective Sarah Ramirez from the Financial Crimes Unit. Her voice was professional, no nonsense. "Mr. Chen, I've reviewed your report. I need you to come to the station to provide a formal statement and bring any additional evidence you have. Can you come in today?" I told my boss I needed to take a personal half-day. He'd noticed I was off yesterday and this morning, asked if everything was okay. I said I was dealing with a serious personal matter and would explain later if needed. He nodded, told me to take care of myself. At the station, Detective Ramirez was a sharp-eyed woman in her early 40s with graying hair pulled back in a tight bun. She led me to an interview room with a recording device. For the next hour, I walked her through everything. The timeline of my relationship with Vanessa, when I'd started the investment account, when I'd shown it to her, the text message, the unauthorized withdrawal, my conversation with the broker. Ramirez took notes, asked clarifying questions. Did you ever give Ms. Thompson verbal or written permission to access these funds? Never. Not once. Did she have any legal claim to this account? Joint ownership, power of attorney, anything? No, it's solely in my name. Always has been. And this text message, she sent it after the transaction was already complete? Yes. 2 hours after the withdrawal went through. That's not asking permission. That's informing me after the fact. Ramirez nodded. Mr. Chen, given the amount involved, over $40,000, this could be charged as felony theft if we determine it meets the criteria. I'll be contacting Ms. Thompson within the next 24 hours for her statement. I need to advise you that this could result in criminal charges. Are you prepared for that possibility? I took a breath. Yes. Do you live together? We did. I moved out last night. Good. That makes this cleaner. I'll be in touch. I left the station and checked my phone in the parking lot. 23 missed calls from Vanessa since last night. 37 text messages. The tone had shifted from confused to angry to panicked. I scrolled through them. Marcus, where are you? This isn't funny anymore. Why is my bank account frozen? What did you do? Marcus, call me now. I can't access my money. The bank says there's a fraud hold. Did you do this? How could you do this to me? I'm your girlfriend. I typed out one reply. I reported the unauthorized withdrawal to the police and my broker. You took $43,500 from my account without permission. That's theft. She called within seconds. I answered this time, put the phone on speaker, and hit record on my voice memo app. Theft? Theft? Marcus, what the actual fuck? You took money that wasn't yours without asking. I texted you after you'd already done it. That's not permission, Vanessa. That's notification. Her voice cracked. I didn't think you'd care this much. You have so much money in there. I've been drowning in credit card debt for months. I couldn't breathe. I needed help. Why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you ask? Because I didn't want you to see me as irresponsible. I didn't want you to think I was bad with money. So instead, you decided to steal from me? How is that better? I wasn't stealing. I was borrowing. I was going to pay you back. When? How? You never asked. You never discussed it. You just took it. Silence. Then quieter. I thought we were partners. Partners communicate. Partners ask. They don't just help themselves to each other's life savings. The police are really involved? Yes. A detective is going to contact you. Probably today or tomorrow. Marcus, please. Please don't do this. I made a mistake. I'll pay you back. I'll do whatever you want. Just drop this. Vanessa, I can't trust you anymore. You went behind my back and took enough money to buy a car. Do you understand how insane that is? She started crying. Full sobs. I thought you loved me. I did. But you stole from me. I hung up. Update 2: Detective Ramirez called Vanessa Wednesday afternoon around 3 p.m. I know the exact time because Vanessa called me at 3:47 p.m., completely hysterical. She was at her office when the detective phoned. Apparently, she was in an open plan workspace, and several of her co-workers heard her side of the conversation. Heard her saying things like, I didn't steal anything, and he's my boyfriend, and I was going to pay him back. Now people at her marketing firm knew she was under investigation for theft. They called me at work, Marcus. Everyone heard. Do you know what this does to my reputation? My career? Do you know what you did to me? I made a mistake. No, you made a choice. A series of choices. You logged into my account. You navigated to the transfer page. You entered the amount. You confirmed the transaction. Those aren't mistakes. Those are decisions. You're destroying my life over money. You destroyed my trust over money. You chose money over honesty. I hate you. I'm sorry you feel that way." She hung up on me. That evening, I started receiving messages from mutual friends. Some were sympathetic to Vanessa. Emily, her college roommate, texted me, "I can't believe you called the cops on your girlfriend. She made a mistake, but you're ruining her life. This is cruel." Another friend, Josh, sent, "Dude, that's cold. She's struggling and you're pressing charges?" But others saw it differently. Rachel, one of Vanessa's best friends from her yoga class, sent me a private message that surprised me. "Marcus, I need to tell you something. Vanessa told me 3 months ago she was drowning in debt. I asked her if she'd talk to you about it. She said she had it under control and didn't want to worry you. I told her she should be honest with her partner. She got defensive and changed the subject. I'm sorry this happened to you. You didn't deserve this." That message hit me hard. Vanessa had been hiding her financial situation from me for months. We'd been living together, splitting bills, planning a future with a house and maybe kids someday, and she'd been secretly spiraling into debt, and instead of trusting me enough to ask for help, she helped herself to money I'd spent a decade building. I texted Rachel back, "Thank you for telling me. That means a lot." She replied, "She's not a bad person, but she made a really bad choice. I hope you both find peace." Update 3. By Thursday morning, Vanessa's lawyer, yes, she'd hired an attorney, contacted Detective Ramirez. The lawyer, according to Ramirez, who called me with an update, advised Vanessa to return the full amount immediately to avoid felony charges. The logic was simple. If she returned the money promptly and showed remorse, the prosecutor might decline to file charges or offer a deal for a lesser offense. My broker facilitated the return transfer Thursday afternoon. By 4:30 p.m., I received an email confirmation. $43,500 had been deposited back into my investment account. I logged in and stared at the number. It was all there, but something inside me had fundamentally changed. Detective Ramirez called me Friday morning. "Mr. Chen, the funds have been returned. At this point, it's your decision whether you want to press forward with criminal charges. The DA's office will consider your wishes, though they ultimately decide whether to prosecute. What would you like to do?" I sat in my hotel room. I'd extended my stay another week and thought about it. Part of me wanted her to face consequences. She'd violated my trust in the deepest way possible. But another part of me was just exhausted. The money was back. My account was secure. I'd changed every password, enabled two-factor authentication on everything, moved all my important documents to an encrypted cloud storage with biometric access. "I need the weekend to think about it," I told Ramirez. "That's fine. Take your time. Call me Monday with your decision." Vanessa texted me Friday night. Just one message. "The money's back. Can we please talk? Please?" I didn't respond. Saturday morning, I coordinated with Vanessa via text to make sure she'd be out of the apartment. She was going to her parents' house in Salem for the day. I drove to our apartment, former apartment, and packed everything that was mine. My clothes, books, my PlayStation and gaming setup, kitchen appliances I'd bought, furniture from before we moved in together. I hired 2 guys off TaskRabbit to help me load everything into a U-Haul. It took 4 hours. I left her stuff completely untouched. Left my key on the kitchen counter next to a note. "I've talked to the landlord. I'm signing off the lease. You can take over full rent or find someone else. Your choice." As I was loading the last box, my record collection, into the U-Haul, Vanessa's car pulled into the parking lot. She wasn't supposed to be back until evening. We froze, standing about 15 feet apart in the parking lot. She looked terrible. Hair pulled back in a messy bun, no makeup, wearing old sweatpants and a wrinkled t-shirt. Dark circles under her eyes. "So that's it?" she said. Her voice was flat, exhausted. Yeah. 4 years, Marcus. 4 years together. I know. You're really going to throw away everything we built because I made one mistake? Vanessa, stop calling it one mistake. You didn't accidentally trip and fall into my brokerage account. You made multiple deliberate choices over several hours. You chose to betray me. I was desperate. Then you should have talked to me. I would have helped you. We could have made a plan. I could have loaned you money. But you didn't give me that choice. Her face twisted with emotion. I was scared you'd judge me, that you'd see me as a failure. And now I see you as someone who steals from the person who loves them. Is that better? She flinched like I'd slapped her. I'm not a thief. You took $43,500 that didn't belong to you without permission. What would you call it? Tears started running down her face. I thought we were building a life together. I thought that money was for both of us eventually. It was. But that was your choice to destroy, not mine. I hope you're happy, Marcus. I hope you and your fucking money have a great life together. I hope you get help, Vanessa. I really do. I got in the U-Haul and drove away. In my rearview mirror, I could see her standing in the parking lot, crying. Final update. It's been 3 weeks since everything exploded. I decided not to press charges. The money was returned, and dragging this through the criminal justice system felt like it would consume months of my life and emotional energy. Detective Ramirez said she understood and closed the case as resolved. Funds recovered. I'm living in a 1-bedroom apartment in a quieter neighborhood about 20 minutes from my office. It's smaller than the place I shared with Vanessa, but it's mine. Just mine. No shared space, no shared bills beyond basic utilities. I sleep better now. The apartment is peaceful. My investment account is still intact, still growing. I've actually increased my monthly contributions by $200 because I'm not splitting rent anymore. My new place is cheaper. The house fund is alive and well. It's just going to be my house now, not ours. Through mutual friends, I heard that Vanessa moved back in with her parents in Salem. She lost her job about 2 weeks ago, though apparently it wasn't directly because of the investigation. Her performance had been declining for months. Missed deadlines, lack of focus. The fraud incident was just the final straw. Her credit card debt, I learned from Rachel, was actually over $60,000 spread across 7 different cards. She'd been drowning for over a year, making minimum payments, using one card to pay another. A classic debt spiral. Part of me feels bad for her. I genuinely hope she gets help, talks to a financial counselor, works out a debt management plan. But mostly I feel relieved. Relieved I discovered who she really was, or who she became under pressure, before we bought a house together, before we got married, before we had kids, before our financial lives became legally entangled in ways that would have been a nightmare to separate. I'm not dating anyone right now. Don't plan to for a while. I'm focusing on work, on my hobbies, on rebuilding my sense of stability. My friends have been supportive. My parents, who I finally told the full story to last week, were shocked, but proud I'd handled it maturely. My dad, who's always been cautious with money, said, "Son, trust is earned slowly and lost instantly." You learned that the hard way. Some nights I still think about the good times with Vanessa, the lazy Sunday mornings, the road trips, the inside jokes. 4 years doesn't just evaporate. But then I remember that text message. "You'll make it back anyway, LOL." And the cold calculation behind accessing my account while I was at work. And I know I made the right choice. Trust, once broken like this, doesn't heal. It just scars over. Edit 1. A lot of people are asking why I didn't try to work it out or give her a second chance. Here's the thing. The moment I read that text message with a lol at the end, something inside me just switched off. It wasn't even the money itself. It was the complete disrespect. The casual assumption that my decade of saving, was just a resource she could tap into without asking. That's not a partnership. That's not love. Edit 2. Yes. I checked my credit report the day after everything happened. Pulled reports from all 3 bureaus. Nothing suspicious. She didn't open any credit cards or loans in my name, thank God. I've frozen my credit now just as a precaution. Edit 3. For everyone asking what I'm investing in, mostly low-cost index funds. 70% total stock market index, 20% international index, 10% bonds. Boring, steady, consistent. That's how you build wealth over time. Not by making flashy trades or gambling on crypto. Just patience and discipline. Edit 4. Someone asked if I'd ever consider talking to Vanessa again. Honestly, I don't know. Maybe years from now, if we ran into each other and she genuinely turned her life around, we could have a civil conversation. But a relationship, friendship, number. Some bridges once burned can't be rebuilt. This is one of them.